What's going on, everyone? It's Royalty Crypto here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at by far the hottest crypto coin in the space right now, that being Zcash. I'm also going to take a look at the overall crypto market as a whole, letting you guys know whether or not I think it's a good time to be buying or selling, and also I'll be giving you some bullish hopium at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And guys, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. But now that all of that's out of the way with, let's get right on into this video. So as you guys can see here, Bitcoin is currently trying to trade above $92,000, but having a bit of a difficult time as we are currently down 1.5% in the past 24 hours and nearly 13% in the past 7 days. And I'm not going to get into the prices of any other major altcoin because Bitcoin is basically dictating the direction of this entire market right now, besides for Zcash. As you can see here, Zcash is continuing to perform incredibly well, up 23% in the past 7 days and currently trading at $650 per coin, which equates to a $10.6 billion market cap. And guys, if you invested in Zcash 3 months ago, you'd be up nearly 15x on your money, which is nothing short of impressive, especially since the overall sentiment in crypto has been very fearful and bearish during that same period of time. So if any of you guys watching this video were investing in Zcash back when it was around $50 per coin, shout out to you guys, because that's how you make insane money in the crypto space. When you're investing into solid projects when nobody's talking about them, you will be rewarded eventually, and this is a fantastic example of it. But alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart on Zcash. So as you guys can see here, we are currently trading at all-time highs at a $10.5 billion market cap, and the highest that we had gotten before this point was back in 2021, where we topped around a $3.75 billion market cap. One thing that I do believe is very important to remember if you're investing in Zcash at these levels is that you are buying at all-time highs. Now, it's not impossible that Zcash can't continue to trend upwards. However, it is by far more risky to be buying in times like this than it was to be buying in times like this. Because as you can see here, the Zcash Fear and Greed Index is showing that we are basically in extreme greed for Zcash in particular. However, if you look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index for the overall crypto market as a whole, it is quite the opposite. We are at a 17 in extreme fear. So you aren't getting Zcash at a discount, to say the very least. Now, I do believe that it is possible that Zcash could go on quite a nice run in 2026 when the altcoin season does actually start, or at least when I'm predicting it to start. I think that Zcash could theoretically get to around a $100 billion market cap, which would be around a $6,000 price target for Zcash. With that being said, I do think that it is very reasonable that we could see a significant pullback on Zcash in the coming weeks to months. I think that Zcash could pull back to around $200 to $300, and I would be more interested in entering a position around those levels, especially if the hype and volume remains solid if we do have that dip. So personally guys, and by no means am I trying to say that this is a bad project, because I actually do think Zcash has a bright future. I think that it's better to be buying coins that aren't being looked at right now and have a much more bearish sentiment. For example, like SUI or SEI or those types of layer ones, even ICP. But alright guys, let's go back to the overall Crypto Fear and Greed Index, because I think that this is an important indicator to be looking at right now. As you guys can see, we are the lowest on this indicator that we have been in quite some time, since about April of 2025, back when Trump had first introduced the tariff fears to the market. Now, in my opinion, that was a much more fearful and uncertain time than it is right now, so I think that this fear that we're experiencing is mainly just short-term based and very irrational, to say the least. And of course, this is not financial advice, and none of my videos ever give financial advice, but whenever we see extreme fear like this, I think that it's a great time to be buying. The best investors in the world, including Warren Buffett, have always said that it's best to buy when other people are fearful and sell when other people are greedy. So when you see everybody on X saying that we all need to sell our entire crypto portfolios because we're about to enter a bear market, just know that it's typically best to be doing the opposite of what the average person is saying. And that's what I'm doing personally. My strategy, as long as we remain in fear and extreme fear, is to be buying every single week until we start to get to a more neutral sentiment, especially on very red days like today. So please do your own research, but that is what I'm personally doing, and that has worked very well for me in the past. But alright guys, I wanted to take a look at the price of Bitcoin because, as I said earlier, I believe that whatever Bitcoin decides to do in the next couple of weeks will be what the overall crypto market does. So as you can see here, we are trading in this bullish channel that we've been respecting for about the past 2.5 years. We are at the very bottom side of it. As you can see, this would actually be the third time that we've touched the bottom of this channel. So in my opinion guys, as long as we can hold above this channel, which we are doing so far, we are still in a bull market, and this could be a fantastic buying opportunity. However, there is a scenario where we could break below this channel, and if we close a weekly candle, not just wick below it, then we could theoretically drop back down to potentially $75,000 on Bitcoin. That would be the other area where we have a big support zone, and it is theoretically possible. However, guys, I am far from convinced that this will be the case, and I'm actually leaning towards the fact that we are most likely very close to a bottom for Bitcoin. We did close a CME gap at $92,000 today that's been sitting there for about 4 to 5 months now and has been a big concern for many technical analysts. So the fact that that CME gap is now finally gone, it is more clarity for technical analysts and less to worry about, which ultimately should be bullish for the price of Bitcoin. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that this is the local bottom for Bitcoin? Do you think we're going to start to trade back up to the top side of this channel, potentially getting to around $130,000 plus? Or do you think that we're going into a full-on bear market? And guys, one of the reasons why I believe we are going to start to trade back to the upside of this trading channel is because of the fact that President Trump says that he is bringing $2,000 tariff dividends that will be sent out to Americans by mid-2026. Now, I don't believe that this alone could affect the price of Bitcoin that dramatically. However, guys, this is yet another important detail of what Trump plans to do in 2026. If you guys are reading in between the lines, I think that it is very clear that the government is planning on turning the money printers back on and stimulating this economy next year. I think that they know that they don't have much of a choice but to do so, because if they don't, it's very likely that we are going to go into a recession. Basically, all of the unemployment data and overall economic data from the past couple of months show that if the government doesn't intervene with this economy, we are likely going to go into a recession. But fortunately enough, we have rates at an elevated level right now, which gives our Federal Reserve ammunition to stimulate this economy. Also, we are officially ending quantitative tightening December 1st, and we don't have an official date on when we will start quantitative easing, but it does seem like we are leaning towards starting QE sometime early 2026. So I believe that these liquidity injections will greatly benefit risk on assets like Bitcoin. It should also weaken the dollar, which has historically been very bullish for the prices of crypto, and I believe that all of this will give us at least one more bullish phase for the crypto market. But alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this content, and I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for all the support as always, and have a fantastic night. Peace.